Okay, so now that I'm back home, just wanted to kind of update you on everything that just happened. So I got ready this morning and I went to my appointment, and my ultrasound was first. She was really taking pictures of my right side, which is where the cyst was. And I would say my first ultrasound appointment that I had, they took like 10 to 15 little images. Then the second ultrasound that I had, they probably took 30 images, and she was really looking at my right side, and that's when I found out that I had the cyst. And this time she was really taking a ton of pictures of my right side, and then when she moved to my left side, she took like 4. So I thought for sure going into my appointment that he was going to say that the cyst was still there. But when I went into my appointment, he said that he was really surprised, but the cyst is completely gone. And so that is awesome news. I'm glad that that is the case. He said that cysts can range anywhere from 0 to 10 centimeters, but anything greater than 6 is too big. And so mine was greater than 6, and he said typically they would say that like 3 would be average. So he said that he was really surprised that it went away, but it did. So that's awesome. So now the plan is that I will start on Femara, which is a fertility drug. And that is just to say that I will have a good ovulation. He thinks that I am ovulating, but maybe it's not at the prime time. And so he wants to make sure that I really have a good one. So that's what that is for. And then I am also going to take the baby aspirin, but he wants to do a blood test on the 21st day of my cycle again to check my progesterone. And then also he wants to make sure that I don't have some type of blood clotting situation going on. I'm not sure what he called it, but that is just to see if that may be what the situation is that a blood clot is making me lose a pregnancy. So he wants me to take baby aspirin to make sure that I will have thinner blood, but then also he wants to get this blood test just to see, you know, to make sure that that isn't an issue. So that will happen on the 21st day. So once I start my cycle, I'll call and we will set that up to check my progesterone and to check for the blood clotting situation. And then depending on what my progesterone level says, that will determine if when I do get pregnant, he wants to start me on like a progesterone supplement where it will help me have a greater value, because he said that my level was on the lower side, but it was still in the normal range. They would like to see above a 10, and I was below a 10. So we're gonna check the progesterone level again to see, you know, that I did ovulate, and then to see if my progesterone level was still in the lower part. And then whenever I do get a positive on a pregnancy test, if that happened to be low when I got my blood tested, then I will start taking, I don't know if it's a supplement or a shot, I don't really know. But yeah, so that's what's going on. I'm feeling pretty good about it, I guess. I'm glad that the cyst is gone, and I'm glad that we can hopefully like have a successful pregnancy this time. I'm really hoping that I don't have a 3rd miscarriage. He feels like getting pregnant is not the issue, so he thinks that I will get pregnant pretty quickly. So fingers crossed that I do. So I just got back from picking up my medicine at the pharmacy. My cycle finally started yesterday, so I will start this in 4 days because I'm supposed to take it from days 5 through 9. I called about a week ago to see how much the Femara was going to cost, and if it was going to be really expensive, if I could get it switched to the off-brand version, which is Letrozole. And when I called, they said that it was already Letrozole, so that was awesome. Also, I've heard some people call it Femara. I don't know if it's Femara or Femara. My doctor just called it Femara, so I think that's why I'm calling it that. But I am going to be taking Letrozole 2.5 milligrams, but I'm going to be taking 2 a day. So I will take 5 milligrams a day from days 5 through 9. Oh, also I have started taking baby aspirin. I messaged my doctor and the nurse responded and said that when they talked to him, he said that I could go ahead and start that. So I started that about 5 days ago, maybe, or so. And hopefully that will do whatever it needs to do. I'm not sure if he will just have me keep taking that even if the blood test comes back negative for the blood clotting disorder. I'm really not sure yet. But yeah, so right now I am taking my prenatal vitamins and the baby aspirin, and then in 4 days I will start taking the Letrozole 5 milligrams a day. For an update on my actual cycle, I started yesterday, like I mentioned, and I spotted 2 days before that, but the spotting was really minimal. Yesterday came on strong. I had a lot of cramping beforehand, and then I cramped throughout the entire day. And yesterday and the day before, I had a lot of cramping and pain in my lower back, which is not something that I normally have. I am actually going to take a pregnancy test before I start taking these pills. I'm going to take these at night, which is also when I take my prenatals and my baby aspirin. But that morning, I'm going to take a pregnancy test, just because last cycle, I would have had no idea. I really thought that I had a chemical pregnancy and that was a miscarriage. It was very period-like to me. The only thing is that it wasn't a period and it wasn't a miscarriage. It was a cyst rupturing and I was pregnant. So I'm gonna take that just to be safe. I think my cycle will probably stop around day 4, and then I will probably spot for 2 or 3 days, but I will start taking these on day 5. So I mean, that's really all I have to update right now. I'm sure that I will update you when I take my first day of these and throughout the week, just to see if I have any side effects or if anything weird happens. Good morning, guys. It is Monday now, and I am about to take a test to make sure that that actually was my period that just happened and that I am not pregnant, so that I can start taking the Letrozole or Femara. So I have my test and a little cup of pee, and I'm just gonna take this and then we will see what it says. Okay, set my timer and we wait. Okay, so there's about 10 seconds left and it is still looking negative, so I will start the Letrozole tonight, and then this will be, oh, there it goes. So I will start taking the Letrozole tonight, and then I will take that days 5 through 9, and we'll see what happens. I mean, I'm hoping that it'll be the first time. I'm sure that everyone hopes it'll be the first time, but since my body is already ovulating naturally, I'm hoping that this just gives it a really good shot. And then I already have the pregnancy tests so that I can start testing early, so that I can hopefully catch it as soon as it happens, and we can see what happens. Hey guys, good morning. I just wanted to update you on what's going on. I have actually already taken days 5 through 9 of Femara. I was waiting until I kind of had some sort of side effect, but to be honest, I had 0 side effects. So I'm really glad about that. Hopefully that is, something hopeful for anyone who might be thinking about taking Femara or about to take it right now. And I had no side effects. I took it at night right before I went to bed with my prenatals and the baby aspirin that I'm on right now. And if I had anything going on, it all happened at night, I guess, because the next day I felt totally normal. And so now I am waiting for some positive ovulation tests. I have started testing today to see, if the line progression is getting darker, and it was really, really light this morning, but I guess like the The average is 5 to 8 days after you take your last pill. And today I'm 3 days after, but I just wanted to start testing now, of course, in case I ovulate 5 days after, you know, that would be soon. So yeah, so I started ovulation testing, and now I'm just kind of waiting for that positive ovulation test and hoping that it's a really strong one. And I think I already said that I scheduled my my progesterone test and my blood clotting blood draw. I don't know that I will update you until then, unless I update you when I get a positive ovulation test. We'll just have to see. But no symptoms, that's awesome, and I'll check back in soon. Bye. So I've been ovulation testing, and yesterday I got my peak, and last night I just kind of couldn't sleep very well. Like, I kept tossing and turning and I couldn't get comfortable. And this morning when I woke up, I just had a lot of pressure down there. I really don't know how else to explain it besides like a tightness, a fullness, or a pressure. And it was kind of like when I would go to sit down or like bend, it was very uncomfortable, and it felt like a lot of pressure and a lot of tightness, and I'd kind of like sit down and have to like wait, and it felt like my body would readjust itself and then the pressure would go away, but then like when I would go to move again, it would still be there. And that lasted for about, I don't know, maybe an hour. And it was just like super weird. And so I just wanted to include that in here because I have never experienced that. So I'm assuming that it has something to do with the medication working its magic. I don't know, but you guys are along for the ride. So I figured I would just share that with you. And, you know, I don't know, maybe that is something that has to do with ovulation and the medication. I just got back to my car from getting my blood drawn. Today they were checking for the blood clotting disorder and then also my progesterone level. I had asked them to check my vitamin D level as well because about 1.5 years to 2 years ago I was vitamin D deficient, and so I just wanted to make sure that my prenatals were covering that. I'm not 100% sure if they actually did check that or not because there were only 2 vials, and I kind of was under the impression that maybe they would need 3 vials since they were checking 3 things, but we'll see if they checked it or not. I'm gonna call back a little bit later today and see if he's looked at it to see if anything needs to happen as far as next steps with progesterone and the, like, if I have the disorder or not. I am taking the baby aspirin every night, so I'm not sure if that would be the plan, that I would just continue taking that, or if there would be something else added if I had that. So I will update you when I find out more information. So it's the next day now, and I just got off the phone with the nurse from my doctor's office, and my vitamin D was fine, so that's good. My progesterone was a 24, whereas before it was a 9, so that was really good. And then I don't have the blood clotting situation that they were concerned about. So everything is checking out to be really good. I mean, I'm excited that everything is good. Obviously, I don't want anything to be wrong, but at the same time, you know, it is a little disheartening in a strange kind of way just because I've had loss before. So you want to put a reason to the loss, like you want there to be a cause so that you can fix it. And as of now, there's just still no cause that I have been shown. So it's kind of, I'm really hopeful about this cycle with Letrozole / Femara. I'm really hopeful that it's gonna work this time, and I just hope that it sticks. I guess that's more of where my reservations are coming from. It more has to do with when I get pregnant, how are we going to make sure that this baby sticks, whereas the previous 2 didn't. So I'm very hopeful that this cycle is going to work. If it doesn't work this cycle, I don't think I will feel defeated because this is the first cycle with medication, and obviously I've been trying for a really long time. So I don't think I'll feel defeated. I'll just be like, okay, let's try again. But I will, of course, be very defeated should I have another miscarriage. So that's where I'm at right now. They just said to call them as soon as I get a positive test. This time I'm not going to wait until I miss my period, and that's because I want to be sure that I catch it the second that I'm able to catch it, so that we can try to do as much as we can to carry a pregnancy to full term instead of miscarrying. So I've purchased the test, and I'm gonna start testing at 8 DPO, and we will just go from there. I never wanted to be a everyday kind of tester, but at this point, that's where I'm at. Like, I need to know the second I'm pregnant so that I can tell them. So I'm gonna start testing at 8 DPO. I'm not sure if I'll test every, like 8, 9, 10, or if I'll just test like 8 and then 10, 11, 12. I don't really know what the plan is as of now. But yeah, that's where I'm at. Those are my feelings. I'm sure that if you have been through something like this, you've had a lot of feelings like this before. It's a strange thing to be, you know, hopeful and fearful and excited and devastated all at the same time. So yeah, so that's the update, and I will, you know, catch you up when we start testing. No line today on the test, so I'm gonna mark that on the test that this was 8 DPO, and then I actually don't think I'm gonna test tomorrow, but I'm going to test the next day because tomorrow's just not really gonna work out with Nick and I's schedule, and like I said, we do want to find out together still. So I don't know. So I'm gonna test in 2 days. That will be 10 DPO. I knew that it was a pretty far chance that I would get a positive today. So we will just see what day 10 gives us, and hopefully we'll get a positive test. Another reason that I want to test on day 10 instead of day 9 is because we're going into the weekend, and I feel like if I tested on Saturday morning and I got a positive, I would be really concerned, since I can't go to the doctor's office that day. I obviously have to wait until Monday. And I think since I had the 2 losses previously, I just would be stressing about it if I got a positive on a Saturday. So I'm gonna wait until Sunday so that I'm not stressing about it and I'm not thinking about it, and I'm hoping that I'll get a positive on Sunday. If not, then we'll just try again for the second cycle, and then the second cycle will be the one. You gotta stay hopeful, right? Okay, it's 10 DPO. I have just did my test, and I will start the timer. Not today. Well, unfortunately, cycle number 1 is a no for us. I ended up beginning to spot, and I just kind of knew that I just wasn't pregnant, and I was just like, I don't want to waste any more pregnancy tests. So I ended up not testing anymore, and then I started my period. So we're gonna try again, cycle number 2. I'm still hopeful that this medication is going to work for us, so we will just try again, and I will keep you updated along the way. So thanks for watching, guys. Bye.